Welcome to another edition of Economic Forum, where we discuss various issues affecting the economy of Zimbabwe, our country. And today we are looking at the aspirations of the youngsters, the young ones. And we've invited the junior mayor of the capital city, the city of Harare, and that is Jabulani Charamba, who will be sharing with us what they are doing in order to ensure that the capital city is really the sunshine city that it calls itself. Your Worship, Jabulani Charamba, welcome to Economic Forum.
Thank you, Mr. Masuko.
Yes.
I'm pleased to be here.
Yes, tell us, who is His Worship Jabulani Charamba, the junior mayor of Harare?
Jabulani Charamba. Well, that is a very good question. I'm a very ambitious person. I'm very social. I talk to a lot of people. That's how I got elected as mayor.
Yes. Tell us about where you were elected from, your school, and what you are studying.
I am a Form 6 student at St. John's Emerald Hill. I'm currently studying math, physics, chemistry.
So how does one apply to become a councillor in the junior chambers?
The process is a very interesting process. What happens is the council sends letters to your schools that tell them that there are vacant places for junior councillors for the next term. So for this year, 2022, what happens is the school had sent letters the year before that, when we were still lower sixes, to tell the school that the school should nominate at least 10 candidates to go to the townhouse for interviews. And then when you go to the townhouse for interviews, there's the first interview. That is before you are even a prospective councillor. And the first interview is where they screen hundreds of students and remain with maybe 60, 70. After the first interview, you go through a training program. And during that training program, it lasts for 2 months. And they're teaching you etiquette, they're teaching you how the council works, they're teaching you how to handle yourself as a councillor with the older people. And after that 2 months of training, you have the second interview. The second interview is where they cut down people to 48, 49 councillors, because there are 46 wards, so they don't need a lot of councillors. They need to cut down to make sure that it fits according to the wards in Harare. After the second interview, there's about 49 councillors remaining. You go for a camp. This is an initiation camp. And there's a lot of activities that happen at camp, team building activities.
And it's both learners, boys and girls?
It's both learners, boys and girls.
Okay.
They try to make it as inclusive as possible. So you see that the council has people from the uptown schools and from the high density schools to make sure that it's inclusive of every youth in Harare, so that we...
And every ward.
In every ward.
Yeah, right. Yes. Okay.
So when you go for camp, you go with the aldermen. And the aldermen train you, they initiate you into the council. After the camp, you are no longer a prospective councillor, you're an official councillor, because that's where the inauguration happens.
Okay.
So they call the senior mayor comes, the senior mayor inaugurates the prospective councillors, and they change titles from prospective councillors to honorable councillors.
How does such roles, of being a councillor, being a junior mayor, help with the economic well-being of Zimbabwe? What do you think in future, now and in future, you will contribute?
They make sure that the youth are included in the talks that affect the lives of Zimbabweans, right? So recently we hosted a National Junior Councils Association conference at Crystal Lodge, which was about a few months ago, where our vision and theme was to achieve Vision 2030, where it includes the youth. And Vision 2030 talks about Zimbabwe being a middle-income economy. So you're
already discussing that as youngsters?
We are already discussing that as youngsters, where we're asking ourselves that the budget that our finance minister, Mthuli Ncube, just released a few months ago, does it include a substantial amount to given to the Ministry of Education?
From your experience, Your Worship, Junior Mayor Jabulani Charamba, do you think the adults are listening to you? Do they pay attention to some of your observations as well as your recommendations?
That is a very good question, and I've seen that as the world evolves, adults are beginning to turn a listening ear to us. Back in the day, it was always juniors should listen, adults should tell. But now that we're advancing into a world of technology where the youth are evolving faster than the adults have no option but to turn to the youth for help and to also listen for advice. So I think that with platforms like these that give us the publicity, we are having that voice to have the adults listen to us.
That's His Worship, the Junior Mayor of Harare, Jabulani Charamba, who is our guest on Economic Forum, telling us about the activities that they partake within the junior chambers that also affect council itself as well as national leadership, because the issues that they debate, that they recommend, affect their peers, that is the youngsters of Zimbabwe. This is Economic Forum, and if you'd like to get in touch with us, do so on the numbers that are showing on your screen. Join us in the second segment. Welcome to the second segment of Economic Forum, where today we are discussing about the aspirations of the youngsters of Zimbabwe, and we've invited the junior mayor of the capital city, Harare, and that's His Worship, Jabulani Charamba, who is here with us, has been telling us about his background and how they interact with the seniors, especially discussing things that affect our economy. Now, if you could just tell us about what you have been involved in in the year 2021 and this year 2022. I know you once mentioned to me that you are very much into encouraging your peers into vaccination as well as desisting from drug and alcohol abuse. How do you do that? Because we don't want to lose them. We want them to be future leaders in our economic sphere.
Our council has been focusing on the COVID issue and substance abuse issue for a very long time. And to begin with the COVID issue, that was a hot issue in 2021, especially with the Omicron variant that then popped in the last quarter of the year. What happened was on the 3rd of November, the government started a rollout for vaccines for 16-year-olds and above. But we did a survey as junior councillors to see and to find out if people are really getting vaccinated. And we found out that maybe 10 out of a class of 30 would say yes to the vaccine, and then the 20 would say no. But this was because of the skepticism that came around with the vaccine, the genetic mutations that would go on social media, that's Instagram, Snapchat. So
by people of your generation.
By people of our generation, definitely.
Yes. Yeah.
So you find that people did hesitate to get the vaccine. So as junior councillors, what we did was we spearheaded that program of vaccination, and we got vaccinated while people were watching, so that our youths would have an example, so that they'll find out that now that it's 2022, it's January, I got the jabs, I'm still here. And you see, it's a safe vaccine. I would encourage all the youths who haven't been vaccinated yet to go get vaccinated, because COVID really has affected most of us.
So was this done on national television only, or you also had some road shows where you went to different parts of the capital?
We had it on national television, and we tried as much as we could to spread the videos out through various media sources and social media, where most of our youth are active. So you find the videos on Instagram, you find the videos on Facebook, on Twitter. So we were trying as much as possible to spread awareness through social media.
What was the initial feedback that you got, Your Worship?
At first, people were still skeptical. People told us that if you make it through December, then we'll definitely consider it.
Yes.
And we hope that now that we've made it to 2022, people will definitely start considering. Because COVID really hit bad. If you look at the statistics, because of the 2020 O-level candidates who were stuck in the house all day, we had a 6.8% pass rate drop. So from 31% pass rate 2019, when people were still going out, we had a 24% pass rate in 2020. And this is O-level results. So that means that the rest of the 60+% that failed either had to repeat or had to drop out. This is where you find that youth that drop out and youth that have nothing to do then turn to drug abuse.
Okay. Let's talk about that. Drug and substance abuse, which has become rampant. It is a worrying situation. Parents are worried, schools are worried, and these are the leaders of tomorrow. These are the people who are supposed to drive the economy, who are supposed to drive administration in future, and yet they get bogged down by these drugs. What are you doing, Your Worship, Junior Mayor?
The first thing that we had to do was to understand why they were doing the drugs. And we did a survey. And the most common answer that came up was doing drugs is a way of healing the pain and stress of being unproductive. So you find that an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
But see, you are busy at school, you are being given homework, you are revising for examinations, and at home you are meant to run around busy doing what? What is it that they are missing for them to go for drugs?
The thing is, you're busy if your mindset is up to it. If you're being told to do something, you're doing it to finish it, not because you're busy, but because you're being told to. So the drive is then, after I'm done with this, what do I do? So this is what we were talking about in the first segment, the rehabilitation of recreational facilities. If students play soccer, after they're done doing chores at home, they can go play soccer, explore that talent, have something to do. Because the drugs then come in as a way of dealing with the pain. So if you don't want to do something and you're facing difficulties in school, instead of then trying to go get some help at school, maybe you're facing some stigma, you use drugs as a way to pass the pain, to ease the pain.
When talking to your peers, the youngsters, Your Worship, Junior Mayor, do they know that, the future is theirs, the economy is theirs, the running of the country is theirs? Is it something that you stress so that they desist from some of these things?
Of course they know, but it's not a thing that because it's tomorrow, people will then be woke about it. They procrastinate. Because it's tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. So you find that tomorrow is the busiest day ever on earth, because everybody has something to do tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. So you find that you need to connect with them at a personal level. And what we have done is to come up with a catchy theme that will hook teenagers onto the trend, that will hook the rest of the youth onto the trend. So you know how they say someone is under the influence of drugs? We've come up with a theme that says above the influence. That means you've conquered drug abuse, you've conquered drug addiction, and we've started the projects and the programs to achieve an above the influence youth by maybe 2030.
Yes, that's His Worship, the Junior Mayor of Harare, Councillor. You're not yet an older man, isn't it? Councillor Jabulani Charamba, who is talking about the aspirations of the youth, what they are doing as a junior council to make sure that we have the youth of tomorrow who will be able to look after our economy, to look after the heritage that was left to us by our forefathers. And in the next segment, His Worship, the Junior Mayor, will be giving us his vision for the future of Zimbabwe, for the economy of Zimbabwe, the well-being of Zimbabwe, and all these things. So if you would like to get in touch with us, you can do so. The program is Economic Forum, and you can do so on the numbers that are showing on your screens. And also, if you have missed some episodes, you can watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. You can watch all the different episodes that we've had, very interesting and educative ones indeed. So join us in the third and final segment with His Worship, the Junior Mayor of Harare. Welcome to the third and final segment of Economic Forum, where we are discussing today with the Junior Mayor of Harare, Jabulani Charamba. His Worship, Jabulani Charamba, you've outlined a lot of things and also the activities that you are undertaking as juniors and how you are also interfacing or interacting with the seniors in the city as well as in government, which is very, very important. So our economy, we are beginning to understand it at a very early age. How do you ensure that it's not only you as councillors that understand it? This cascades to every youngster. Everyone appreciates that we are Zimbabwe. Everyone appreciates as youngsters that we have to protect our heritage, our land, our future and everything.
We try by all means to engage every youth that we can reach out to so that they understand the heritage of their country. They understand that they are the future of tomorrow. We do this word to word at a very communal and personal level, where each councillor has their own ward and each councillor goes out to that ward and tries to engage with the youth. We have what we call an inter-ward weekend, where the last Saturday of every month, all the wards come together, they meet up for a soccer match. We have a symposium, a talk against drug abuse and a talk about the future. So we have what's called the Career Allocation program, where we talk to the youth about what they want to be so that they have a vision, they are guided somehow as to the careers that they want. We also have the Hafal project. It's called the Harare Free of Litter project. We got this idea from His Excellency, where every first Friday of the month we have a national cleanup campaign. So as junior councillors, we then try to clean up the wards when we have those inter-ward activities every last Saturday of the month.
So as junior council, Your Worship, do you have the capacity of luring some investors into the city, or you're still too junior for that?
We do have the capacity because you find that most investors these days are interested with technology. The world is moving fast and the youth best understand technology, and that's where the world is moving into.
What is your vision, Your Worship, Junior Mayor, for the city of Harare, as you work with council, the senior council, for the next 5 years?
You find that we want Harare, because it's the capital city of Zimbabwe, to be the most developed city in Zimbabwe. So when you go through statistics, you find that the development of a country or community in particular, the best way to find out how developed they are is to look at how they educate the girls in that community and how they treat the women.
Very important. You also have girls in your chamber?
We also have girls.
Are you balanced, or it's a men's club only?
we are very balanced. The deputy mayor, Zipporah Mahanda, is female. The town clerk, Bilga Machote, she's also female. Then the rest of the exec, we have gentlemen and females as well. But we try very much to be inclusive.
Yes. Well, you're still spelling out your vision for the future. You've just said that you want the capital, Harare, as you work through the future to be exemplary. And what else?
Yes. So we would want to promote gender equality at a national level. So that means that we want every girl to get the best quality education they can get, and every male to get the best quality education they can get. Because we don't want a situation where for the next 5 years we're advocating for the girl child, she becomes too powerful, and then for the next 5 years we're advocating for the boy child, it becomes too powerful, and then it becomes a redundant process. We're trying to simultaneously get gender equality and equity so that maybe in the next 5 years we are at the same level and everybody's getting equal opportunities out there.
One thing that we notice when you finish school, as you are still at school, very soon you'll be going to university or other tertiary institution, is that you then struggle when you have finished your education because the economy is not absorbing you well. So as junior counsel, your worship, what is it that you're doing so that the economy is strong enough to carry you even into the big chamber, where you have the elected mayor and so forth, or into parliament, or into ministerial positions, or just managing life, easily than what is happening at the moment?
We are trying by all means to input an entrepreneurship mind into the youths. So instead of waiting for the government to create jobs, we want youths to create their own jobs, you understand? So we're trying to get youths to get that sort of entrepreneurship mind before we move on to the government, where we challenge them to give us opportunities.
Or to the senior council.
To the senior council as well. To challenge them to give us opportunities to get jobs that will sustain ourselves.
These best practices that you are spelling out, your worship, junior mayor, where are you getting them? Are you getting them on the internet? What other cities do, how they are run, or you have traveled so that when you share with senior council, they take you seriously, that you really know what you're talking about. If you're talking about garbage collection, they know that you are a step higher than them and so forth. Where have you been besides the net?
You find that we interact a lot. Because of COVID-19, the internet has become the clubhouse for everyone. Yeah. And you find that in other countries, like the United States, we have garbage collectors that come every Wednesday. In Zimbabwe, we have garbage collectors that come once every 6 months. So you find that people are littering not because they want to, but they don't have dump sites anymore. The dump sites have become full of trash that is not being collected.
So what you are saying here, your worship, junior mayor, is that even from the net, you are learning a lot from different countries that you browse, on the internet, and also get to understand what they're doing and share with the seniors.
Yes. On top of that, we interact with different cities, different countries over the new platforms that have been input. That is Skype, that's Facebook, that's Instagram, to get all the innovative ideas so that we can collectively come up with one good city that is made up from a collective of good ideas.
Well, that is the junior mayor of Harare, His Worship Jabulani Charamba, spelling out his vision and his council's vision too for the youngsters, and also what they would like the city to look like, and also what kind of advice they can give to the senior council as well as government. Thank you very much, Your Worship, Junior Mayor of the City of Harare, Jabulani Charamba, for coming to Economic Forum.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure being here.
Don't forget to get in touch with us on the numbers that are showing on your screen. And also, if you have missed some episodes, you can watch them on our YouTube channel, which is Economic Forum Zimbabwe. So on behalf of His Worship, the Junior Mayor of Harare, Jabulani Charamba, and the production crew, this is John Masugu.